What's going on, guys? Matt Marinoff, Real Estate Recovery Group. I am the captain of the ship today, driving the vessel through the weeds of real estate. And my co-host today, I have Judy Zablack from Connecticut, who's a monster in real estate. We'll get into what she does later on when she's not selling real estate. But I will tell you this, she goes over 100 miles an hour, you guess. So she's insane. Judy and I actually met a couple of years ago. We brought her in on a project that we were working on in Connecticut. Unfortunately, it didn't work out, not because of our efforts, but because of the homeowner and what he didn't want and what his list of demands were, basically, and why the project didn't work out. But I've always followed her since, and she follows me as well. And we've actually formed a friendship and a special bond. And I feel that she's actually part of my family. She's an amazing person. And she's going to give us a little bit of an update on what's going on in the Connecticut market from her perspective. And I'm going to let her tell a little bit about herself and her story and how she got involved in real estate and what she contributes every day to something that is her passion, real estate. Judy, without further ado.
Well, thank you, Matt, and thank you for having me here. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you very much. I'm so glad we met a couple of years ago, and then we met in person a couple of years ago,
That's
and that
true.
was like really, really awesome. So, yeah, you're like part of the family for me, and I really appreciate you. Always have, and I appreciate how passionate you are with your company and all the people that you help. And I mean, you've got miracle stories. It's just amazing. And anybody that works with you, they're just very blessed. And I hope they realize that. So,
Absolutely.
okay.
That's one of your fans from Suzanne from Pennsylvania.
Suzanne Kunkel, I love her. She's great. Hi.
There
Hi.
you go.
We met at a luxury home buying seminar. She's really great. So,
That's awesome.
all right. So what, you wanted me to tell you a little bit about me?
Tell people a little bit about yourself. Tell them, a little bit. Tell people the story how you got involved in real estate, and then we'll fast forward, and then we'll talk about really what's going on in the market, and then you can
Okay.
tell people how successful you are in real estate. Not so much to boast, but because of the fact that you have a real passion for helping others.
I do. I do. When you help others, if you focus on taking care of everybody else, everything comes to you. So, at any rate, I got into real estate. It was funny because I was supposed to be an artist, and I was working my way through college at an art store. And the guy comes. By the way, this is 36 years ago. I've been a realtor for 36 years.
Oh my
So
God! So you were 2 years old when you got into it.
yeah, I love you, love you, love you. And no work has been done or anything like that. This is me.
Yeah.
um, so the guy comes into the store, and I've got a lot of energy back then. Can you imagine if I don't have as much energy now, but that I had back then? But I still have a lot of energy. At any rate, the guy comes into the store and he said, "You should be in real estate." And I go back and I tell my boyfriend, I'm like, "Oh, Carmine, this guy thinks I should be in real estate." And he looked at me and he said, "He's trying to pick you up. Oh, stop it. Forget it. You're supposed to be an artist." And I'm like, "Okay, fine." So a couple months later, and I forgot about it. A couple months later, the guy comes into the store and he said, "You should be in real estate. I'll pay for your education." And I wasn't going out with Carmine anymore, and that's how I got started. That's it. I hadn't thought about selling real estate, but I started, and I really enjoyed it, and I loved helping people. Um, so at some point, let's say that was 1984 when I got my license. I decided that I didn't want to be beholden to anybody. And if you're in real estate, you're a licensed salesperson, then you become a licensed broker after a couple of years. So in 1988, I became a broker. So I didn't have to hold my license with anybody, and I could be independent if I wanted to. Then I opened up a company, and then my company got bought out. And that was from a now defunct company.
Hmm.
They actually ended up selling, and that company sold and whatever. But at any rate, I managed for a while. And then I was like, I managed for about a couple of years, and I really needed to be back in the fold to help people. So then I went to work at a large company, and years later, here I am at Coldwell Banker, and Coldwell Banker has been really good to me. And I'm in Fairfield County. I'm the number one office in the Connecticut Westchester region. We have about 120 agents, and in our office, and which nobody can go to right now. Everybody's at their house, but it's all good in regards to production and what else has been going on. Last month, I was in Forbes. I made it into Forbes.
That's
Um,
amazing.
and yeah, that was really cool. That was really cool because I could say that forever. I'm a syndicated columnist about real estate, and in currently different publications, and I write about real estate. Last month, Wall Street Journal interviewed me, and the New York Times interviewed me and quoted me in the newspaper in March, which is great. And that was about COVID. So New York Times contacted me about COVID, which is really cool. I've also been on HGTV a number of years ago. That was really fun. So, and I get to tell everybody HGTV is really, it's a show that it's just meant to be entertainment, but really it's not how the transaction goes, and I can speak from firsthand experience.
Let's talk about that for a second because people always say HGTV, and anybody who's an actual rehabber, remodeler, builder looks at that and says it's great for entertaining or entertainment, but that's really it. Obviously, a lot of the properties are picked out prior to, and then they make it look like they're going to do things, and then they ultimately purchase the property. But it is entertainment. But they really do a fabulous job with the renovations. So it's funny that you actually mentioned that. Uh, I know that a couple people got in trouble because they were trying to make it seem like they weren't doing it, but then that ultimately came out kind of like with wrestling. Well, wrestling is really entertaining, and it's not.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same thing. So listen, it's all about entertainment. It's all in good fun. Before we get into the COVID stuff, tell people what you do in your off time.
I like to race my car.
So you race cars,
Yeah, well, I race my car, which is a Maserati.
Maserati,
Right.
and what's the fastest speed you've ever gone in your car?
162 is the highest. 100 is like every day of the week you can do 100. That's not a big deal.
Oh, excuse me.
Not a big deal. I do. You know what? I hit
You do
that
100 miles an hour down side streets?
when I test drove the Maserati. I went down one side street at 90, and I test drove it, and they were okay with that.
Yeah.
They were all right with that.
I think it's a special driver who's actually going to be driving a Maserati. I don't think it's somebody who's going to be driving, per se, a Taurus or a Camry. So they probably.
And I'm not driving one of those either. How's that?
I got you. I got you. So you are a race car driver.
No, I'm not a race car driver. I'm a race car enthusiast. I do not have a specific racing license. I do drive on the racetrack, of course.
Okay. So let's just be clear. You wear a helmet.
Of course.
You wear an outfit.
I wear a Nomex suit. So, as a matter of fact, if you were to go to my timeline right now, there's a picture of me with my car in my Nomex suit with my racing gloves, my racing shoes, and my helmet, which, by the way, says the Petite Powerhouse on it.
Right. So you're a race car driver.
Okay, if you
yes, that's it.
because the people that you help, they need somebody to be tough with them and tell them when they need it, like, hey, you got to get this done, you got to get that done, you got to get the other done, and you're strong enough to work through that with them and help them with that and take care of them. And I love what you do.